You packed your bags, you're excited to board the ship, and security pulls you aside. Something you thought was harmless is sitting in your suitcase, and now there's no turning back. I worked in cruise ship security for 7 years. Here's the 2026 banned items list, and most of you don't even know about it. Let me start by saying this. Most passengers think if something is legal at home, it's fine to bring on a cruise. That's the mistake. Cruise ships operate under maritime law, and what's allowed in Florida might get you stopped before you ever see your cabin. I've watched couples lose their Bluetooth speakers, families have their decorations confiscated, and travelers miss boarding entirely because of items they didn't know were banned. You're about to learn what changed in 2025 and 2026, so you don't make the same mistakes. First on the list, Bluetooth speakers. This one surprises everyone. For years, passengers brought small portable speakers to their cabins or balconies. Maybe you wanted some music while getting ready for dinner, or a little background noise by the pool. But in late 2024, Carnival Cruise Line became the first major line to ban all Bluetooth speakers completely. Their website now says all speakers, including Bluetooth, portable, and wireless types, are prohibited and will be held until the end of the cruise. The reason they give is safety. Public announcements must be heard by all guests and crew. If your speaker is playing music, you might miss an emergency alert. But let's be honest, the real reason is noise complaints. Too many passengers were blasting music on balconies, in hallways, even at the pool, disturbing everyone around them. One guest told me they were trying to nap in their cabin, and the neighbor's speaker was so loud it sounded like a concert next door. I've personally escorted passengers to the security office after receiving 3 separate complaints about their music. They genuinely didn't think they were being too loud, but on a ship, sound travels differently. Thin walls, metal surfaces, open corridors. Everything amplifies. Carnival got tired of the complaints and decided enough is enough. Now if security finds a Bluetooth speaker in your luggage during screening, it goes into a box with the other contraband and you get it back on the last day. On one embarkation day alone, I counted over 40 speakers confiscated. Passengers were shocked, frustrated, some even argued. But the rule is firm. Other cruise lines haven't officially banned them yet, but Royal Caribbean quietly started removing speakers at their private island, Perfect Day at Coco Cay. And trust me, the other major lines are watching. If Carnival sees success with this policy, expect it to spread industry-wide. My advice for travelers over 60 who just want a little background music while getting ready? Bring quality headphones or earbuds instead. They're allowed, they're personal, and they won't disturb a soul. Some passengers even bring small portable headphones that rest around your neck so you can still hear announcements. It's a perfect compromise. Second, cabin door decorations. This used to be a fun tradition. Passengers would stick magnets, decals, or even small signs on their cabin doors to make them easier to find or celebrate a birthday or anniversary. But Princess Cruises and Carnival both announced bans on door decorations in 2025. Why? Because magnets and adhesive decals were damaging the paint. Some passengers used duct tape or heavy-duty adhesives that left sticky residue. The ship's maintenance crew was spending hours every week scraping off glue and repainting doors. One cruise director told me they had over 200 doors that needed touch-ups after a single 7-day sailing. So now, no magnets, no decals, no decorations of any kind. If you want to find your cabin easily, take a photo of your hallway or use a brightly colored luggage tag. But don't try to decorate your door, or crew will remove it and you might get a warning. Third, smart luggage with non-removable batteries. Smart suitcases are popular, especially among younger travelers and tech enthusiasts. They have built-in chargers, GPS trackers, even digital locks. But most cruise lines now ban any smart luggage that has a lithium battery you can't remove. The concern is fire safety. Lithium batteries can overheat, especially in confined cargo areas or when stacked with hundreds of other bags. If a battery malfunctions in the luggage hold deep inside the ship, it could cause a fire. And on a ship, fire is the most dangerous emergency you can face. There's no calling the fire department when you're in the middle of the ocean. I've seen passengers argue at the terminal, insisting their expensive smart suitcase is safe, showing me reviews and certifications. Security doesn't care how much it cost or how many stars it has on the website. If the battery is non-removable, the bag doesn't board, period. One couple I'll never forget told me they spent $800 on matching smart luggage as an anniversary gift to themselves. They showed up excited for their cruise, and I had to tell them the bags weren't allowed. They were devastated. They ended up leaving the suitcases with a friend who drove them to the port, and they bought cheap duffel bags at a tourist shop nearby just to make the cruise. The whole experience left a sour taste, and it was entirely preventable. If you have smart luggage, check the manual or the manufacturer's website. If the battery can be removed, take it out and carry it separately in your hand luggage. If it can't be removed, leave the suitcase at home and use traditional luggage. It might not have all the bells and whistles, but it'll get you on the ship without drama. Fourth, drones. A few years ago, passengers started bringing drones to capture aerial footage of the ship or the ports. It seemed like a great idea, until cruise lines realized the problems. Drones can invade other passengers' privacy, especially around pool decks or private balconies. They can interfere with ship navigation systems. And in some ports, flying drones without a permit is illegal. Most cruise lines now ban drones entirely. Some will allow you to bring one on board, but it has to stay locked in your cabin or checked with security. You cannot fly it anywhere near the ship. One passenger I spoke with tried to launch a drone from his balcony to film the sunset. A crew member spotted it immediately, confiscated the drone, and the passenger was called to the security office for a warning. If you're a professional photographer and need drone footage, you have to apply for special permission weeks in advance, and even then, most lines will say no. Fifth, vaping devices on balconies. Smoking on balconies has been banned on most cruise lines for years, but vaping was a gray area. Some passengers thought because it's just vapor, not smoke, it was okay. Not anymore. In April 2025, Fred Olsen Cruise Lines officially banned all vaping on balconies. Other lines are expected to follow. The reason is the same as cigarettes: fire risk, secondhand exposure, and complaints from neighbors. Vape devices have lithium batteries that can malfunction, and some passengers were careless, leaving devices charging unattended. If you vape, you'll need to use designated smoking areas on the open deck. Don't try to sneak it on your balcony. The ship has sensitive smoke and vapor detectors, and if you trigger one, you'll face a fine of at least $250, sometimes more. Sixth, CBD products. This one confuses a lot of American travelers, and I understand why. CBD is legal in many states. You can buy it at the grocery store, the gas station, even the pharmacy, and it's marketed for everything from sleep to anxiety to pain relief. But here's what most people don't realize. Cruise ships operate internationally, and many countries the ship visits have strict, sometimes severe laws against CBD and cannabis-related products. Even if your CBD product contains absolutely zero THC and is completely legal where you live, it can still be confiscated at embarkation or even get you in serious trouble at a foreign port. I've seen passengers lose expensive CBD oils, gummies, capsules, even lotions and bath bombs at security. One woman in her 70s told me she used CBD cream every night for arthritis pain in her hands and had no idea it wasn't allowed. Security took it during the bag scan, and she spent the first 2 days of her cruise in discomfort until she could find a pharmacy at a port that sold a legal alternative. Another passenger brought CBD gummies for sleep and didn't declare them. When a drug-sniffing dog flagged his bag, he was detained for over an hour while security searched everything. He missed the sail-away party and almost missed boarding entirely. The cruise line takes this seriously because they don't want to risk issues with customs officials at international ports. Some countries have zero-tolerance drug policies, and CBD can fall under that umbrella. If you rely on CBD for medical reasons, talk to your doctor before the cruise. There may be legal alternatives you can bring instead, or your doctor might adjust your treatment plan temporarily. But don't assume that because it's sold legally at home, it's fine to pack. When in doubt, leave it out. Seventh, irons and steamers. Wrinkled clothes are frustrating, especially after a week in a suitcase. But clothing irons and handheld steamers are completely banned on cruise ships because of fire risk. Even the small travel-size ones aren't allowed. The heating element is considered a hazard in a confined cabin. I've had passengers ask if they can use an iron just once and then turn it into guest services. The answer is always no. Most ships have self-service laundry rooms with irons you can use for free, or you can pay for pressing services. Some passengers bring wrinkle release spray, which works surprisingly well and is allowed. But don't pack an iron or steamer. Security will find it and it won't board with you. 8th, multi-plug outlets with surge protection. This one caught a lot of people off guard in 2024 when Royal Caribbean updated their prohibited items list. For years, travelers brought power strips to deal with the limited outlets in cabins. But now, any multi-plug device with surge protection is banned. The concern is that surge protectors can interfere with the ship's electrical systems. However, simple USB charging hubs without surge protection are still allowed. I know it sounds confusing. The easiest way to understand it is this. If your device has a button or a light that says surge protection, leave it home. If it's just a basic multi-plug adapter or USB hub, you're fine. One guest told me they brought a power strip they'd used on 5 previous cruises, and this time it was confiscated. They didn't realize the rules had changed. 9th, personal Starlink and Wi-Fi sharing devices. This is a newer ban that surprised the tech-savvy crowd. Some passengers thought they could bring their own Starlink satellite systems or portable Wi-Fi hotspots to avoid paying for the ship's internet, which can be expensive. Cruise lines shut that down fast. Personal satellite devices and equipment that creates wireless networks are now strictly banned. The reasons are multiple. First, cybersecurity. A rogue network could potentially be used to access ship systems or passenger data. Second, interference with ship communications. The bridge relies on specific frequencies for navigation and emergency signals. An unauthorized device could cause serious problems. And third, lost revenue. Ship internet is a profit center. If you're caught with a personal Starlink dish or hotspot device, it will be confiscated immediately, and you may face removal from the ship. This isn't just a rule violation, it's a security issue. I once confiscated a Starlink dish from a passenger who wanted to work remotely during sea days. He didn't understand the severity. I explained that unauthorized signals on a ship are treated as seriously as a weapon. The ship's systems are sensitive. If you need reliable internet, check what the ship offers before booking. Some newer ships have excellent packages, but don't bring your own. 10th, large extension cords. Basic extension cords without extra outlets used to be okay, but many cruise lines are tightening the rules. Long extension cords can be a tripping hazard in small cabins, and if someone falls, the cruise line is liable. I've seen passengers bring 15-foot cords to reach from one side of the cabin to the other. Security is now flagging these during bag checks. If you need to charge something far from an outlet, use a short charging cable instead. 11th, walkie-talkies and wireless baby monitors. Families used to bring walkie-talkies to stay in touch around the ship, and parents brought wireless baby monitors to keep an ear on sleeping kids. But these devices operate on radio frequencies that can interfere with the ship's communication systems. Norwegian Cruise Line and Royal Caribbean both prohibit them now. If you need to stay connected, most cruise lines have apps that let you message each other for free using the ship's Wi-Fi. If you have a baby, you'll need to check on them in person or use the ship's babysitting services. Don't risk bringing a monitor that could be confiscated. So those are the 11 items that are banned or newly restricted in 2026. I know some of these feel frustrating. You might think a small Bluetooth speaker or a decorative magnet shouldn't be a big deal. But cruise lines have thousands of passengers on board, and rules exist to keep everyone safe, comfortable, and on schedule. The best thing you can do is check your specific cruise line's prohibited items list before you pack. Every line is a little different, and rules change frequently. If you're not sure about an item, don't pack it. It's better to leave it home than to have it confiscated at the terminal and start your vacation stressed. Here's my final piece of advice after 7 years in cruise security. The passengers who have the smoothest embarkation are the ones who do their homework. They read the policies, they pack smart, and they show up prepared. You don't need to bring everything from home. The ship has almost everything you need, and what it doesn't have, you can usually buy on board or in port. Travel light, follow the rules, and you'll board without a hitch. If you found this helpful, give the video a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss more cruise tips. Drop a comment and let me know. Have you ever had something confiscated at cruise security? I'd love to hear your story. And stay tuned, because next time I'm revealing the one cabin location that experienced cruisers never book, and you'll want to know why before you choose your room.